9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're gonna be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
Because I'm special.
That's right. You're very, very special.
We have a downed spacecraft.
I want what's on that ship.
We can do it. We're fast. We're strong. We don't break.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
This ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe.
Monsters. Invasive species. Predatory.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.
Damn, forgot to take off the banner and I was still muted, but we are here. We are back with another episode of Alien Earth. Brian will be in here as soon as he gets home, but right now, me and my boy Danny are kicking it. We're going to do what we do. Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Road to Wisdom. You can find me here, I think, for 2 more weeks. Then you can also find me Wednesdays on the Hangout. Also, I'm on the OC sometime. Mondays, first 2 Mondays of the month, we do a little show on Chaos Central. Each one of us have a show, me, Chris, and Anzo. Then on Sundays, Storms Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit everywhere.
Absolutely. Make sure to check out the homeboy Danny over there. You know me, Big Afford Entertainment. You guys are on the channel now, so you know where to find me. Sometimes you find me over here too as well. Sometimes find me with Spoiler King. Sometimes find me wherever. You know, wherever the invitation leads me, that's where I am going to be. If I'm and Saturdays, we also on Austinator's channel doing the same thing, a roundtable for Alien Earth. So make sure to check us out over there too as well. All right, but we are
on Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah, guys. And Saturday mornings we do the rewind. Me and Brian, we talk about all the things that happened during the week, and we got a show coming up this Saturday, so make sure to check it out. 10 o'clock EST, 9 o'clock CST, but EST is the real time, so don't even worry about that CST crap. But make sure to check us out.
Exactly.
But guys, we are here to talk about Alien Earth. This is episode 6, and they called it The Fly. Danny, overall thoughts on this episode?
I don't think it was good as last week, but it was very informative because we saw what the 4th monster, whatever creature, whatever you want to call it, can do. And we've seen a little glimpse of the 5th creature. So I'm thinking that probably next week we're going to see what the 5th can be. But it definitely progressed the story. Kirsh, I think, and I said it backstage, I think he's an evil genius. I think he's set a lot of stuff. He's just looking and observing, but I think he is masterminding something. I don't know what it is. But like I enjoyed the show. I'm definitely very eager to see these last 2 episodes and see how they tied up in a nice little bow and leave us, hopefully, with a very good cliffhanger for next season.
Absolutely. And we already know, I think they already have a couple of seasons planned. I think 4 seasons they want to do, at least what I heard. So if that's the case, then yeah, we're definitely going to have a cliffhanger at the end of this season. Curious to see how they play that out. I'm on the same mind frame as you. I didn't think this episode was as good as last week's episode, even though last week's episode was kind of, and this episode's kind of, because there's a few things that I see where they're going. and I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? I hope it plays out differently than I think it's gonna play out. But right now I'm just not feeling. I'm not, because it starts off with a lot of the stuff that I'm not feeling, right? So we'll get into the episode real quick. It starts off with the sheep, and we get a Kavalier talking in the background, you know. So we get that narrative there, but we see Wendy, and she's standing in front of the window, and she's doing her little clicking sounds, and she's trying to talk to the xenomorph. But we do see that the sheep is watching every single thing that is going on. So, and this is another thing that the sheep notice, because you can see how the light turned green, meaning you can go into the room or whatever. The sheep is noticing all this. The sheep is watching all of this ish. Danny, what were your thoughts on this damn sheep?
Well, I knew from the original voyage, because when it saw that thing wasn't green, it starts shaking and baking and acting all crazy. So the sheep, the sheep flashed eye is definitely watching. I don't know whether it's going to metamorph. See, I'm thinking it got to metamorph into something else, because without that, this is only strong as it hosts. But I don't know. But yeah, the eye, I think, is definitely the most intelligent out of all of them. The rest of them seem to be a little bit more feral. But I got a theory about the xenomorph. But
Interesting.
Later on.
No, go ahead. Give us your theory. Let's hear what you got.
I think the xenomorph is a queen.
Ooh.
I think that's going to be the first queen, because the head looks a little lighter than the rest of the xenomorphs. So I think, that queen get a little crazy wings or something on the side of his head. I think that's a queen.
That's very interesting, because you know what? To be honest with you, I was thinking that the xenomorph would think Wendy is the queen by the way it's speaking to her. But you're right. Maybe that xenomorph is the queen. And maybe that's why she's able to have that communication with it, right? Because if you go back to, I think it's Resurrection or one of the ones, Ripley had a connection with the queen, right? It was a queen. Like the one that came out of her was a queen. So they always had that connection to the queen. And then the queen gave birth. And when it gave birth to it like it was a human baby, right? Danny, your mic just went out. Did birth like it was a human baby. So there's all of that going on. And for me, I was just like, you know what? Now that you say that, it kind of makes sense that it could be a queen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. You can hear you now.
Yeah, that's what I think. That something is different about that one. I don't know what it is. So I'm thinking the queen is a little bit more intelligent than the other. And she wasn't able to talk to the other xenomorph, the one that tried to kill her inside that little thing.
I don't think so.
But this one, she's all that. So I could be wrong. That's my take.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. You do have some bad takes, but I like that one. I like that one. All right, so now we get into a lot of talking, and we see Kavalier talking to Wendy's brother. And Wendy's brother is pretty much asking questions about the play. Like, he was being so obvious, Danny, with the questioning. And you're questioning Kirsh, who is probably the smartest person in this whole place, and you questioning like he's not going to understand what you're doing. And Kirsh is like, you want to do what? And then he's like, oh, I want to take care of her. And what did he say? That's like an onion taking care of something. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that's kind of cool, bro.
Yeah,
like
Kirsh is no joke. I don't feel like I heard somebody kind of reference him to being the people like on what's that that movie is such a cult classic and Harrison Ford plays on it, Blade Runner.
Yeah,
I think this is in the same universe, is what I'm hearing, because his hair is very close to the Blade Runner guy in there. So I don't know whether they're the same species or the same model or whatever it was. There's a lot of similarities.
No, I heard that too. I heard that. I heard that they're trying, and they may be trying to connect. So, guys, don't quote me on that. But I hear they're trying to like the connection to aliens, aliens to Predator, and then these two movies to Blade Runner. So I believe that there is some sort of connection there. So there could be. It could be. What did they call them in Blade Runner? They were. Oh
I
my
can't think
gosh,
of it.
one of my favorite movies.
What
Shit, they were.
was Rutger Howard Hauser called in Blade?
Yeah, they had a name for them. They had a name for them that they were calling them. Anyways,
Replicant.
that's it. Thank you, Danny. Replicants. That's it. Right. So it's possible he is one, and that would be a great connection. I'd be down for that if they did that.
Yeah.
But this is what he said. It's like an onion asking, "How do I take care of a star?" Like the way he said that, bro. It's like there's like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to Wendy because he's trying to talk about how long is her battery life, when does she need to be charged, and Kirsh is like, bro, get that stuff out your head because there's nothing you can do.
He is not letting her go.
Absolutely, 100%. Now, I gotta ask you this, Danny, because I came to the conclusion, and I said it last week because me and Shifty Gives him had this. Oh no, he cares for Wendy. Do you think he cares for them? Kirsh. Do you think he cares for them? No, exactly.
I thought maybe he did, but not after seeing this, because he seemed to have the better connection with that little boy that was helping him, but he didn't sit there and let him die. I think Kirsh was seeing, okay, I know what 3 of these things can do to a what do they call themselves? Not replicant, synthetic.
Synthetic, yeah.
What can this bug thing do? And he saw what the bug thing can do. That a synthetic can be killed by it. So he's going to be better prepared itself. I don't know who's going to be the next victim. Probably that girl that wants to be better than Wendy. She'll probably be the next one to die with the plant thing. So he's the only one now that knows what 4 of those things can do, other than Morrow. Morrow should know what all 5 of them can do. But,
absolutely.
But Kirsh is learning. And that conversation on the elevator, one of the best parts of the show.
100%. Best part of the show. I agree with you 100%. So now we have them. Curly? No. What's her name? Oh my God.
They got rid of her.
It's not Curly. It's something with the R. Anyways, we see her and she's, getting scanned. They're trying to fix her. They're talking about her, but they let him know that, oh, no, she can't hear anything. We turned her off. She's talking about being pregnant. And he's pretty much telling them, listen, I don't want her running around being this broken down robot. So what are we going to do is we are going to erase her memory, all of the tragedy that she had inside of her. We're going to erase that and just go like it was normal. Now, this doctor, he ain't feeling it. He ain't feeling it. But his what? And I said this last week too. I think he's the only one that cares about them, right? Because the minute he said, no, we're not going to do this, she said, yes, we can. And then his ass got fired by his wife. His wife did that. So what do you think?
I don't think she's going to get fired, but she's more about the process, and she'll go over lines, and she'll cross certain lines that he won't. That's the fundamental difference. She'll cross the lines in the name of science or whatever she fooled herself to believe, but he won't cross lines.
So do you think that she cares for them, or she just thinks them as an experiment too?
I think a certain part of her cares, but not enough that she ain't gonna do whatever Kavalier tell her to do.
So, right. Because, and to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that she doesn't care, but I also think she knows that if she gets fired, then she can't do anything. You know what I mean? Like I can't be around them. I can't. They're gonna kick me off the island. I can't take care of them. Now I know I got to do what Kavalier tells me to do, but at least I'm still here, you know. And I think that's what she's more concerned with. But she threw her husband under the bus.
I agree.
Yeah, she threw this guy under the bus. So he said, you know, I'm not gonna do it. He gets fired, and he tells him, if you're not got him out of here by the day, you know, you could be trespassed and you can be shot. We skip to Wendy and her brother having a conversation, and her brother is pretty much telling her that he is going to help her get out of there, and you know, this is not the place for you. And she says, well, what if I don't want to leave? What did you think about this conversation, Danny?
What if I don't want to go?
I think Kirsh just pretty much told him, you crazy if you think that he's gonna let her go. Then he said something about she's one of the first that can live for thousands of years or something. And so Kirsh is about that life. Because I wish they would tell us how long he been living, but he knew as long as he got powered up and whatever they get their power source, that he's gonna be around for a while. And he just kind of like, I can't believe you're so naive and so stupid to think that this man doesn't spend all these millions of dollars and you worrying about a family when you could be living here forever. So that's the vibe I got from Kirsh. Like, family don't matter. It matters that we're gonna be around here for a long time and we're gonna gather this knowledge or whatever. We're gonna be existing, whatever. To me, that seems to be more important to Kirsh than any other thing.
Especially when he already thinks of humans as food, as we seen in the first episode when he was like, oh, you guys used to be food, but now you guys kind of like he understands that these creatures on there's a pecking order. And the aliens are pretty much going to end up being the ones, if they, you know, multiply, eating humans as food, right? So I think that's what he knows, and I think that's where all of that is coming from. Brian is in the house. What up, Brian?
Right.
What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. Chicago traffic sucks.
CPT time. It's okay. I'm used to it by now. Stream with you.
Yeah. You guys, one day you will come to Chicago and you're gonna find out.
You know what?
Uber.
What you say?
I'd be like, Uber.
Dude, can't Uber in Chicago I live 70 miles away.
You live 70 miles out of the main town of Chicago?
So the way it works is technically from my house to Wrigley is only about 47 miles to Wrigley Field because it's north side Chicago, but Chicago itself is it's probably like 78, 80 miles long and wide. I mean, you know, like, so the perimeter is like, it's 3 million people, you know, so, you know, and then the suburbs are another, you know, within 15 miles of the city perimeter, 15 to 20 miles of the city perimeter. So like, yeah, you could be 100 miles away from the north side of the city to, you know, to south suburbs. I'm in southwest suburbs. It's crazy.
Oh, that shit's like, whoop. Cause I ain't never been to Chicago, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Chicago's about almost as big as New York. That's what it's huge.
Tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yo, you can find me on Spoiler Kings Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9:30. You can find me with Anzo as long as I'm not being late when you're doing Big for Entertainment things. And you can find me on the Rewind on Saturday mornings. Big ups to that. Come and join us. It's a lot of fun. I've been sending him stuff all week.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing it. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's good that we're getting this because then we could talk about what we want to do. We'll do it on Friday, of course. But I can make the thumbnail. And Danny, what'd you think of the thumbnail that I made?
Like him.
Fire. It looks good, eh? It looks good, eh? All right. Yeah, so, guys, we are here again talking about Alien Earth. We got interrupted by the late black man coming to the stream as always, but it is what it is.
The worst thing, you know.
So we pretty much got through a little bit of the beginning. So what did you think, Brian?
It was interesting. So like, you know, I know it's a slow burn, but I feel like you feel the intensity, kind of starting to peak a little bit. There's a lot more going on interpersonally between the people. You see problems setting up. Morrow's going to be a problem. You can see Kirsh might be a problem too. You can see their relationships becoming more and more of a problem. So I'm interested. I'm like Danny, what he's been saying for the last couple of weeks. Now I'm like, I want to see what they do with this.
All right, and I should have asked you what you thought about this episode.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was a fun episode of The Fly. I think the timeline is going to be wrong. What you guys have been saying recently, I don't know if the timeline is going to be right.
Explain.
The more and more they get into it, like it seems like there should have been contact with the people that are already off planet. And if you send a long range message to someone that's off planet, I feel like they would have known about some type of aliens attacking the planet. And I'm starting to think that the message is going relay should have gotten to it by the time we got Aliens 3. They should have known what the hell is going on. That this is something that's been going on.
I got you. It's interesting to see how they're gonna play it out. But I like I said earlier when me and Danny were talking, we're like, it's probably gonna be more than one season, right? I think I heard like 4 or something like that. So we'll see how they play it out. But I'm with you. Like at the end of the day, I think we really have to, or they really have to make sure that they don't mess up any of the continuity from the movies. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, George Lucas did the same thing with his Star Wars movies. So some of them do it, Now we were on the conversation with Wendy and her brother, where Wendy was telling her brother that she doesn't want to go, and he was like, "Oh, trying to get her to go." What do you think about Wendy? What do you think about her saying she doesn't want to go?
That she's naive and that she's really involved with these aliens, with these xenomorphs, and to the point where she thinks they might be good. And she doesn't even see them as evil. So that started to put me in maybe a seed in my mind, and possibly she gets taken over and becomes a queen or something to that effect.
Ooh, Danny had a theory. Danny, tell Brian your theory.
I think that xenomorph she's talking to now is a queen.
And learns all the knowledge through her.
Danny,
that's fire.
Because she look a little the regular xenomorphs look all dark and black looking. When they showed them looking when that thing when the facehugger was going after the guy, to me it looked like the forehead looked pale and discolored or something.
No, I agree.
So I think if it's not a queen, it's gonna be something different, or it's gonna be the next evolution to becoming a queen. I think it's a queen. And then didn't they refer to it as she?
She, definitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You might be right.
To my understanding, all xenomorphs are male and there's only one queen, is the way that I understood it to be.
I always thought of it as like an ant thing. So you one main queen, but there could be multiple queens in an place, right?
I thought it going to be one queen in a colony.
Per colony. Yeah, so you can have multiple colonies, right?
No, to my understanding is like the queen is there and everybody's feeds the queen, that kind of stuff. I think some of them get that, if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've been in school in science, some kind of royal jelly. If they fed that, then the royal jelly or something mutates them till they become a queen.
Couldn't you just go to another colony? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's multiple colonies of the xenomorphs. So like it's a colony and she controls this entity, but there couldn't be another one because all xenomorphs can't come from the one queen. Of all this one,
yeah,
right?
I think each colony has one queen. I agree with that, but I don't think it's. But they gotta show us where did the first daggone xenomorph come from? Did they just pop on in existence? And that's why I get confused with when you watch Prometheus. In that sand or dirt, whatever.
Prometheus, because I saw someone try to explain that Prometheus. At Prometheus, they didn't create the xenomorphs. The xenomorphs are already created. They just try to weaponize them or use them.
I'm telling you, they're gonna make them seem like anti-heroes. I guarantee you.
100%.
Because
Wendy already
bad. They're just trying to survive and
Yeah, Wendy already said that, right? Was it this conversation when she has it, or is it another conversation she
It's
has
her and the
with? I think
brother, because the brother is saying that they're killers.
And she's like,
right, and
no,
she's
they're not
humans are.
necessarily, because he's
Yeah,
not this. She's not a killer. We have conversations. She's like different.
I think this is where they're having the conversation, and she's like, "Well, humans are this, and humans are that, right?" So she's trying to make a correlation between the way humans treat people and aliens, right? Saying, "Well,
Mhm.
they're they're trying to survive just like everyone else, right?" And I agree with you, Danny. I think they're going to try and make them anti-heroes, which I'm not really fond of. But we move on. We get to the trial, and boy Kavalier coming in here with no shoes on, kicking his feet up like
Dude,
he have no.
I will slap
Bro.
the shit out of
Cavalier was
him.
wild, boy. He lucky she had with him sunrise and cut his doggone feet off or something.
Exactly. Where's your people with knives and swords and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah.
you should have your own people. Like, what he does? What?
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
Samurai coming to cut off his feet.
And that ain't strategic, because if I'm the first one there, I'm sitting where I can see people come in. My enemy ain't walking past me. I ain't sitting with my back to the door.
Agreed. Agreed, Danny, 100%. So they're having a conversation about this ship. She's saying it's hers. He's saying it landed on his property. And then they decide to make a deal where she says she's going to pay him a couple of $1 billion.
Was it $20 billion or something like that?
20. And then in the end, she offered him 50. How much money this woman got? $50 billion?
Yeah, because he said, well, yeah, I'll take the 20 million. You can have your stuff back, but it has to go through the quarantine process, which takes about a month, I think he said.
No,
and
they
she's
said
like,
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. And he's like, no. She's like, no, I want it now, and I'll give you the $50 billion.
Exactly.
And he said,
I'll take your 20. I'll take your 20. And I'll see you in 6 weeks.
And I'll see you in
ding,
6
ding,
weeks.
ding, 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 ding. 50 billion. Yeah, them suckers today.
But then he does say something where it's like, it's not about money. I got money. You know what I mean? So $50 billion to him is like, I guess Trump changed the way these guys are talking.
I ain't joking, boy. I want to live on that world where 50 billion bucks is chump change. Yes.
But what did you think about him outsmarting Waylon?
Oh, it pissed
I'm
her
not
off.
surprised. Not
Go ahead.
surprised at all. He came in there too confident, so he knew what was going on. But I'm surprised he kept his cool at that.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought he wanted to kill him. Like,
And don't you think that Waylon should have known better, though? Right? Because
I mean, that was Yutani, right? And when she was doing it, he intentionally like just humiliated her, and I feel like the humiliation is going to drive her. He's going to make a mistake, and the only person that could get him out of the mistake is going to be Yutani, and she's going to let him burn, and that's why he's not going to be around later. That's why it's going to be the Waylon Yutani instead of Kavalier.
Well, definitely the Kavalier part of it is going to have to die by the end of the season. Like, they're going to have to wipe that out. So you're going to see that Waylon Yutani is probably going to win this supposedly war that they have. But we have Morrow, and he's not happy, right? And she basically asks him, what does he need? And he tells her what he needs. They're going to have a full-scale assault. And she says, okay. But then we get into the elevator.
The best scene of
the whole show. I agree. And I'm going to play it. Guys, I know if it's...
We can cut it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, 100%. But I am playing... Stop. Y'all knew it was him, right? Like, hands down, like us. It's Kirsh. Like they tried to hide it like it was someone else. And I'm like, no, just show it because we know it's him.
They're the two most important characters that we've really seen,
and the most interesting in the whole show.
I'm saying big ups to Danny because he's actually the one who talked about Morrow from the beginning, and we've seen how we felt about Kirsh. These two entities meeting these jabs are great. So I just want to watch it again. But
100%. I loved it. Let me pause it for a second just so that the stream don't get cut off. So far, what you guys think? Huh?
Man, they cold, boy. I don't know which one coming back with the zingers, boy, but this is
Who?
good writing here.
Who's winning this fight? Because you know they're gonna fight. Who's winning?
I think Kirsh going. We ain't seen Kirsh yet. We seen what Mara can do. We seen the flamethrower. We seen the pitchfork. I think Kirsh gonna be nasty when they finally reveal him, especially if he tap into his inner Hitman. Because Hitman was cold.
Yeah, but that movie was garbage, Danny. Let's be real.
I ain't talking about the father of it. I'm talking about when he was in Hitman killing them people in the fight scenes. I'll watch it again.
And Brian, what do you think?
I'm with you.
Oh, go ahead.
Garbage.
Yeah, the second one was worse. Yeah, the second one was horrible.
Kirsh wins this because of one line. When he talks about when he says when Morrow says, I need to get me one of those, right? And Kirsh replies, a child or a body that isn't so sad. Why is that so bad to Morrow, right?
Because he lost his child and Kirsh knows it.
Daughter.
Yeah.
That's why I think they set it up. Because how would Kirsh know to say that to get under his skin? And Morrow, we already seen he is emotionally driven on some things. We've never seen Kirsh nothing but cold and calculated.
And so obviously they probably, as you said, they the one that killed his daughter. They set this whole thing up, and he knows about it. He was probably part of it. Can you imagine you being that close to the person that killed your daughter? And you were all
bit surprised if they took the daughter and questioned her, where was your daddy going? And she told him, and then they killed the
cover it up with the apartment. 100%. That's exactly what I think. I think that the daughter was, and because we see that Kavalier had something to do with the ship crashing. How did he know? Right? Where did he get the information to know about this little exploration that was going on?
They interrogated his daughter.
Yeah.
And both their flashback and show that. Whew.
Yeah. That's going to be tough.
Through this whole thing, I feel like Kirsh was telling him he knows about Slightly. He knows that he's communicating with Slightly. He knows he's told him to release the Xenomorph. It's interesting, though, that Kirsh ain't doing shit about it, though.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that, too. Yeah, 100%.
Bro, Kirsh set that up. I told Lonzo.
He knows all about this stuff, man.
Kirsh set up so that door, that feeding door, will malfunction.
Yep.
Because he knew, okay, if this door malfunction, this guy is wanting to be my number 2 so bad that he's gonna do whatever it takes, and so he's gonna do something reckless and take that lock off and go in there like a little dummy because he's a child. He's don't have common sense, and I believe Kirsh set that whole thing up.
That's why he said to him multiple times, "Make sure you follow the protocol." Do exactly what I told you, because he's trying to push him into doing exactly
the scientific method. It has to be done. Yep. Kirsh did that on purpose.
Yep. I agree.
Very interesting. And I like the way it's going, right? Let's continue with it. Fortunately, I'll say this. And I know I said earlier there's gonna be a fight. I think they might not fight. You know what I mean? There might not be a fight between them, but I hope they don't miss that opportunity. I hope they do.
Well, maybe not this season. Or maybe it'll go off. Maybe that's the cliffhanger going off, them two facing off. It goes off like that.
Can you imagine them looking at each other through a wall that can't be penetrated? Like through a door that's locked that cannot be opened? And they each looking at each other?
That shit would be lit, bro. I think it could end something like that, where we get teased of a fight and then we get to the end, you know? Yep. So now we get the doctor, and the doctor has actually done what she was supposed to do, which was erase all the trauma from, what's her name again, Brian? This chick's name
I always forget what it is now.
Starts with an R, I guess, but yeah, whatever her name is. But she gets back to her room. Wendy is there, happy to see her. And then Wendy and them are having a conversation. And in the conversation, Wendy is telling her about what happened. She don't remember nothing, like to the point where she lost days. Nibs. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Nibs. And I like those licorices, so I don't know why I keep forgetting it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Wendy pretty much is explaining to her what happened, and she said she was
I'm sure
pregnant,
you'll get it
and
back.
she just don't remember. She's like, "Oh, I don't remember." Now Wendy realizes what they did to her, right? That they took her
Mhm.
memory. So, what are your thoughts on what Wendy discovered in that scene? Go ahead.
Me or Brian?
Either
Well,
one.
I usually go with you, Danny. First, Danny. You go.
Oh, I don't care nothing about this little girl. They could have not even activated her. If they would have kept her deactivated, that would have suited me just fine. I don't think she needed in the story. That little interaction between her and Wendy did not push the story one way or the other to me. This little guy right here did his interaction with the Indian guy didn't push the
Mm-hmm.
story. So these ones are not important, like the black guy here,
Yes,
Nibs,
me.
whatever her name is, and then the one that wants to be Wendy so bad. Those three aren't bringing any different layers to the story. So
I
I would
agree.
just putting them on the screen to me is just a waste of screen time that they could be doing better stuff with the characters they already have. Just I give you for instance, he's not really important, but when the old guy comes on the screen, man, his 2 minutes on the screen, you know he's there. His scene was memorable because he's like, "Can you wipe them clean?" Yeah. Well, you're fired, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the island past such and such, you might get shot. I can remember that. I can remember nothing this black guy said right here, nothing that little silly girl said, and nothing the other girl said. I don't. So to me, they are wasted. Take them out. Let them get face hug. Let them go in there, get the acid spit on their face, whatever. They are of no consequence to me.
Brian?
I think they're plot devices, or they're in place to tell you what's going to happen to Wendy later, or what could happen. So, like, I think Curly's there because we know she's going to be sacrificed, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll see her get sacrificed instead of Wendy. And what could have happened to Wendy, we'll use her. I think that Nibs is there to let you know that they can erase these people's memory. And they can reset them at any point in time. So they are more machine than they are just children. I think Smee is there to show how childlike they really are outside. I feel like all of them are there just to show you one aspect. I show slightly because how naive they can be. So it's trying to show all different types of personality of them, but with Wendy being the real, at this the real focus of everyone. But all those have parts of her that could be done with her, and I think she's going to want her own independence eventually because of all the things they're going to do to these other characters.
Very interesting. Very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, and I can see where you're going with that because they're showing different emotions in a lot of these synthetics, right? You can see for him, it's like he's envy because he can't get his parents there, and Wendy has her brother there, right? You have Nibs who kind of has some trauma PTSD, which they tried to get rid of, right? Then you have Curly or Sue or whichever one
Curly,
that's
the one who
trying to
wants to be her. Yeah.
wants to be Wendy, right? Which is jealousy and envy. So they're showing that a lot of these people, even though they're synthetics, it's like they still have these certain emotions. And I think where they're going with it is, are they actually humans or are they synthetics that think they're humans, So I think that's going to be
or
a question.
exactly what they just had with we had with Morrow and Kirsh. Are they just things to be used?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's going to be an issue because Wendy's going to feel used. You know what I mean? Wendy's going to feel used. She's already starting to feel used. But now we have Wendy's brother, and he's talking to the Indian dude who's trying to get him to go to the room with the eggs. It just didn't make sense, but he's upset because he can't see his family. And the brother was about to go until his crew comes and tells him we got to go and do this security issue out on the island. So I got to take him with you. Sorry, maybe next time.
Do you think that he was really going to go? I don't think he was going to go ever. I think he was trying to humor a little kid, but he was never going to go with him. You don't trust him.
No, I don't
Well,
think he was gonna go either. He's too concerned about trying to save Wendy and
what I'm
stuff like that.
curious is why haven't we seen the janitor again?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good point. What? We
It's
haven't
2
seen him
episodes
yet.
passed. We ain't seen him yet. What's the
You're
significance
correct.
of that?
I don't know, and I still trying to figure out what that thing is doing. Right when it's spraying the wall, and all of a sudden you're right. We haven't seen it in 2 episodes, so who knows, Danny? I couldn't tell you, bro. I think we'll get an explanation to it. I hope we
I
do,
think so too.
but it could be just one of those things that hey, let's just put this in the background and have people speculate on it, and it's really nothing. You know what I mean? It's really nothing. So we could do that. So he gets to facts. So they go under patrol and they're talking to the crew, and he's talking about how the aliens are here, and she is like, oh well, don't ruin this for us because we're getting paid and this is a good thing. And he's like, at least I know where the creatures are. So they're being extremely greedy for money, which means that
They're
they
gonna
are
die.
expendable. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
They are literally red shirts.
I was about to say the exact same thing, Brian. They are red shirts, and this is a Star Trek episode, and they about to bite it.
Facts, 100%, 100%. So now we get to Wendy, and she's talking to the Xenomorph, right? And she's talking to it, but we see Kirsh and them.
Do we
going
not
on
know what she's saying? Because she's going, well, that stuff, and we have no idea what she's
It'd
actually
be cool if there was
saying.
to put doggone words like that.
So we have an idea of the way this relationship is going. What if she's telling the Xenomorph said you can't trust them, and Wendy's like, no, I could trust Hermit because he's my brother. I know him, and Boy Kavalier, he's a genius, and she's gonna realize that Boy Kavalier is using her, and then maybe she starts to trust the Xenomorph more than she trusts.
That's possible.
Yeah, 100%. I could see that. I could see her trusting the Xenomorph more than the humans because she's already seen the bad side of the humans, right? And she's there having conversations with the Xenomorph. Now, we don't know if she's just mimicking it or she actually having a conversation that the Xenomorph and she understands. We don't know if she understands the language yet, but I'm assuming she does. I'm assuming she's not just saying little words. I'm assuming she knows what she's saying and she knows what the Xenomorph is saying back to her. You guys think so?
I definitely think it's possible.
They're keeping
it under wraps for a reason. So maybe the last episode they'll show where they may do like a flashback or something where she was planning something. I'm just amazed how fast this thing going. In the first part of the episode, you like a little Chihuahua. The last part of the episode, like a Great Dane. So I'm like, what happened? How much time passed? Because to me, it's like it's still one day.
Yeah, but it's flying by. This is time is going by, and I think by the end we might get to episode 8, and it'd be the end of the weeks.
I'm thinking about a week or two is going by, based on the conversation she had with the girl that said she was pregnant. She said, don't you remember last week or something to that effect? So I'm thinking at least a week. If I had to guess, somewhere between 7 and 10 days has passed in my mind. But
I could see that.
It's crazy how fast that sucker grows, boy. She
100%.
You see how big it is? This Xenomorph?
Yeah.
Crazy. And that's not even the most worrisome alien in this entire episode.
Facts, 100%. So this is where Kirsh is like, he was in a meeting with Yutani, and I should be back by dark.
I should be back by dark.
Big guy.
Is Curly with you?
100%. And he's asking, is Curly with you? Which is Curly, the guy that's supposed to set up everybody, right?
Curly's the girl.
Curly's the girl.
The one
the girl. Yeah.
But she's the one, obviously, who's more like Wendy, who's more self-aware.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be babysat. He wants to be hit like Kirsh, right? So
to be more like Kirsh, so he's able to I can do this myself. And he goes into the room. He does everything he's supposed to do. But we see this sheep, and this mother effer is just watching. Watching. I swear to you, I think this eye creature is the best alien in the show right now. I love it. Right? I think it looks so menacing the way the eyeball just looks at you. And remember, because the sheep had a normal look on his face when it was a sheep, but when the eyeball, it looks like it's evil, like it's just mean mugging people, you know? So
can't trust anything about that's going on with him at all.
Facts. So let's watch this because I want to see, like Danny said, he tries to feed it, right? There. So there's the xenomorph getting bigger. Danny, we didn't even get to the end of the episode yet, and the xenomorph is already big. Because remember at the beginning, it comes out of this little thing and it's like little, and now it's like halfway. Yeah.
It's a chihuahua in the first part. Now looking like a Great Dane.
Went from a lung to a chihuahua to
Now you can see that plant thing. You see it reach little tentacle out. You saw that?
Yeah. The plant thing. And I think you're right, Danny. I think we are going to see more of that plant thing in the next episode. I think that's going to be serious. Now, there's one thing I have an issue with, right? It seems like all the creatures have some sort of gas or some kind of farts that do something to somebody. You know what I mean? Like every one of them has like some kind of farting thing. And I was just like, okay, I get it, I guess. But he goes to open up this next container where the flies are, and as he pulls it, hold on, here we go.
See,
it breaks.
That up.
Yeah,
and you know why I'll say that? Because when he tried to open it, it didn't open like easy like it was supposed to, and he had to put power into it. And it broke off. So
remember, he doesn't know his own power.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Danny. I think Kirsh set that up. I think Kirsh has something to do with that. So now he has to go inside to go and feed these creatures. Now, I would have just dropped that shit in there. And like I wouldn't even have went in. I would have just opened the door, kicked my foot, pushed it in, and closed the door and went back. But of course, he's a child, right? So he goes in. He has his foot on the door, but the shit fall and locks himself in there. Now, when I seen this, I was like, okay, I get it, but plot device. You know what I mean? Like, we had to get him in there somehow, plot device, because we do all of this. Now, I really do hope, because at one point I'm thinking Kirsh is just watching everything that's going on. He's not setting it up. He's just letting it play out. But I'm kind of hoping that he did do it like you said, Danny, because if that's the case, then this is just some plot point crap that, the door happened to break at this exact moment when nobody else is around and all of that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of hoping it is set up. But, what did you think about the sheep doing this?
I think he did that to see whether or not how that fly would fare against a synthetic. Because if the fly can kill a synthetic, then he can kill Kirsh. But Kirsh didn't know that until he performed this experiment. So now he can properly protect himself should he encounter one of those flies. Like I said earlier before, he's the only one besides Morrow that know what all what four of those things can do. Morrow knows what all five can do. But now Kirsh has learned what all four can do. He's better prepared to deal with them.
Agreed. Brian?
I think Danny said it perfectly. Yeah. And this is an experiment to figure out. And obviously, one thing we talked about in that whole conversation with Morrow was that he doesn't have feelings. He doesn't hold them dear. It's just there. It's a means to an end. So, like, he doesn't care about this kid. He doesn't care about any of them. He looks at him and says, well, Tootles is Toodaloo. Whatever. Bye. You can be whatever my instrument, just like my microscope is an instrument. He's just using it to see what he can and cannot do, what they can and cannot control. And now he knows more.
Facts, 100%. So now we get this thing, this fly lands on his face, his arm, and then it busts a nut on his face, and his face starts to melt, and we see that. So basically what it is those creatures, like real flies, they spit something out that dissolves this so they're able to swallow it up. But they say that these flies eat on metal and stuff like that. So that's why it was able to do that to him. And then we have the sheep standing up watching, bro. Telling you. Now, what did you guys think? Do you think he's dead?
Oh yeah.
Or can they bring him back to life like they did to Wendy?
I think they're going to try to download his consciousness into something else.
Interesting.
I think the Kavalier is going to say, grab his consciousness, let's put it in the computer, and let's download it into another entity. It might not even be into a body. It might be into like a computer program.
Very interesting. What do you think, Danny? You think he's dead? Or you think that they can bring him back?
I think his body is dead. Not sure. Don't have enough information to properly hypothesize
About his conscious.
But it might be possible.
Yeah, make him like into a computer. He knows about stuff. He's dealt with Kirsh a lot, but maybe he's like his eyes and ears on a entity, on a project.
Mm-hmm.
Go into space.
Yep, I can see that. So now they're eating it. We get to Wendy, and now she's having a conversation with the doctor, and she's pretty much, this is where she's like, what did you guys do to her? And she's starting to see that humans aren't as good as she thinks or thought they were. And then she says, well, then I don't want to be human, right? You know, if that's what it
red
is,
flag. That's
how it feels. And then she says, where it is. Where is it? I'm here to help you, you know.
What if you're what's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough right there.
And that now the Xenomorph
100%. So yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think that, you know, the way it's going down, it seems like Wendy is going to be more on the Xenomorph side. She's already has a kind of connection with it, talking to it, and she's going to help it. She's going to help the Xenomorphs. And either, like you said, Danny, maybe the Xenomorphs see her as the queen, or she's helping the queen. You know what I mean? So I think it's
that
one of
new
those.
Xenomorph is the queen. I could be wrong.
You think what?
I think the new Xenomorph is the queen.
Yeah, me too. I can see that.
Can you think so? Right now, Wendy no longer believes in Sylvia, Dame Sylvia, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's starting to not believe in Hermit, her brother, and then Boy Kavalier is obviously going to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And would that be the last straw to push her to try? And she released the Xenomorph, not slightly.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna fall for Kavalier's manipulation again that he tried to pull before. I don't think she's gonna fall for that again. What do you think, Danny?
I agree.
Yeah. I don't think
that she's getting smart. She's learning too, and so she can kind of put two and two together, so to speak. She's gonna be very formidable. I think she is. She's starting to learn.
Now, do you guys think she's acting more adult now than child? Like, because I feel like she's kind of still has a little child in her, like, you know, oh well, if this is that, but I think she's acting more adult. Like, it's like she's getting smarter to where she's growing up quickly.
I feel like she's acting like a teenager without life experience. So she can have the critical thinking, but she can't see the manipulation behind it. She did, you know, so she's falling into the trap without having any idea what it actually means.
Yeah, I got you. But remember, she was like 9 years old, right? When she started.
She was 12, and I think that's the thing. I think she was older and a little bit more mature, and I think that's the difference. And so now she's going. This whole process pushed her into adolescence, and she's acting like a 15-year-old little girl. You know, that don't think you know nothing. You know, that think that you're wrong, and she has figured out the entire world. And that's going to kind of put her in a different place because she's gonna feel like she's wrong, but the people that have been telling her everything is also wrong. And then the question is, who does she go with?
Yeah, I could see that. So now we have Wendy's brother, and he's talking to the doctor, and he's pretty much asking how to get out. And he's telling him like he gives him information. He tells him about Wendy, how to get her out of there. He disables the tracker, but then he realizes that one of the trackers isn't working. So he ends up deciding to go find out what's going on. And then he goes into this room. And as he goes into this room, he meets this guy. Can't remember his name. And he
fucking slightly puts him in the room and then locks the door while the xenomorph was open, right? So the xenomorph, and there you go, Danny. There's the xenomorph watching, and you can see that the head is a little bit different. So I'm thinking that maybe it's like a snake where that skin is gonna peel off, and then the little thing that the queens have is gonna pop out. Maybe that's why it's a different color. You know what I mean?
Could be.
I actually thought it was because it came from a lung, and maybe it didn't get all the DNA from, but the lungs have all the human. So if you get a lung, you could take the DNA from a lung and you can find out all the human traits of it. So I think, so I think that's it. So he goes, he sees the synthetic, and then the xenomorph jumps out onto his face. And that's what happens to the doctor. Smiley
Facehugger's all done.
He's pretty much like sad. Okay, so first off, did you guys notice he cried and a tear came out?
Yes.
Instead of the white synthetic oil.
Yeah, was it the synthetic oil? Because I thought it was
no, I said a tear came out instead of that white synthetic oil.
Exactly.
I noticed that too.
What did you think about that? Because I'm like, that's weird.
And they said they didn't know how their adolescence was going to affect them. That's why they could have taken the emotion out of it, and they didn't. So now I think they're going to find out that you can't take emotion out of these kids.
And that's what's going to either. Yep.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
How much you try, still going to show its face.
100%, because Nibs is going to go back to the way she was. I don't know how, but maybe the memory is going to come back. Something traumatic is going to happen again that's going to trigger all the shit they tried to take away from her, and you're going to realize that no, they are actual human consciousness and not just robots. So you can't just erase trauma from them.
You don't think it's the eye?
What do you mean?
The eye's going to give her back all the stuff that happened to her. She's going to remember because the eye's going to remind her. There's a connection because you saw what he did in her hand. There's a connection between her and that eye. It's going to come out, and that's just going to remind her about all the stuff that's happened. And then it'll be another one of these, hybrids that are, that are going to not trust the human race. So now it'll be Wendy and Nibs. Don't let them get four of them.
100%, and I agree with you 100%. I think that the eye is going to be what's going to trigger her memory back. Not sure how it's going to happen, if it's going to actually go inside of her and that's what's going to happen and trigger it, or just the fact that it's going to like attack her again, which is going to bring up,
or she goes and just looks at it, and while it's in the goat,
or looks at
her, and there's a connection between them two, and all of a sudden she remembers everything.
Yeah, 100%. I could see that. But then after all of this happens, we go back to the ship. And we see boy Kavalier, and he's like pretending to be Peter Pan flying. And there's a lot of Peter Pan references in this. While he's watching, you know what I mean? He's literally
watching Arthur that's getting eaten in the facehugger on Arthur. And he's just
exactly.
You know what? It's just another experiment for Kirsh.
Exactly. Now we got to get into what is his plan? What is he trying to do? Is he just monitoring things to, like Danny said? I know Danny said he set it up too, but he's also monitoring things to maybe see how to deal with these situations? Or does he have something deeper in mind? I think he wants to just run off with Wendy, kill everybody else. And I don't think he cares about Wendy, because I know I had that argument with Shifty Shoes. I think he cares about them. No, he doesn't care, but he knows exactly. But he knows that they are superior than everybody else, and that's the reason why I think he wants to, go off with Wendy.
He doesn't have emotion. He doesn't care, but he recognizes I can die, but they're probably my biggest weapon against these things.
Absolutely. 100%. And I think he wants Wendy on his side because she has the most potential out of all of them, right? He can see that.
Communicate with them.
Yeah, that too. That too. Hey, what up, Daniel? Hot Topic. How you doing, brother? He said, bro, how's it going? Alien Earth is awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. It's not bad. Definitely a good show.
Yep, I concur.
You know, it's had its issues for me. It's certain things, but it's not one of those shows where I'm like, and you guys know how much I love to call things trash.
Yeah.
And I haven't called it trash yet, you know. I can look back on Daredevil Born Again and say undeniably Daredevil Born Again was trash. I can say that. I can say that. But yeah, so the episode ends with Kirsh looking and seeing what's going on and pretty much just leaving it alone. He's not telling anybody. Oh, actually, we get Smiley or whatever. He's taking the body slightly. He's taking the body and he puts it into this vent, and we see that the fly got out and tried to attack it, but he made it to the vent, and then it ends with the sheep just watching.
All planning it all. Maybe Kirsh. This maybe be a chess game between the sheep and Kirsh.
Ooh, that could be interesting, because it looks like the sheep is still looking for its way to get out. You know what I mean? And it's just
saw it and went back eating the hay.
Could it be possible that Kirsh didn't set it all up, but the sheep set all these things up, and Kirsh just learning and seeing what the sheep is doing?
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
that would be interesting. I don't know how the sheep would able to lock the door, that the dude, but maybe that was just a coincidence. Maybe he just didn't know his strength and he pulled the door and it broke. Right?
Or maybe he
Could be
set it
that
up
too.
that he put like a piece of hay
in there
to hold it a little bit. And he's trying to, he knows how strong he is. He's setting all this stuff up. Maybe it's the sheep that's the real brains behind this whole outfit right now.
That would be sick. That would be sick if we find out that the sheep is the brains behind it. But again, I asked myself, and I'll ask you guys this: do you think the eye? And I don't think the eye is helping out the humans, but I also think it's one of those creatures that, again, knows it's a superior being and wants to control everything, including the Xenomorph.
Watcher.
Yeah, pretty much, Danny. Pretty much. Yeah. Where I can do anything or I can watch anything. I just need to get into the right body and it's over, right? I'll like one body to control them all, I guess, you know? So
you don't think that he's, doing exec. So Kirsh is doing what he's doing, his experiments. Maybe the sheep in this body is so smart that he's not actually trying to get out. He's just trying to do experiments to see how we react.
What would be the reason of stalling that little boy?
The reason for what?
What's the reason the eyeball bumped the glass to startle a little boy?
Oh, yeah.
To me, that's kind of evil.
No, it is. It is.
It's evil,
but
yeah.
maybe the sheep has something for like aliens, synthetics, and stuff like that, right? I know it went into the human towards the end, but I think it was just like because he was the last one there. But maybe it has a thing for synthetics. Maybe it doesn't like synthetics. Maybe it doesn't like. Maybe those are the threats to him, right? The synthetics are the threat, and the xenomorph is a threat, and that's why he's trying to get rid of them. I don't know.
Could it be that the eye is the top of the food chain? It's the smartest entity in all outer space, and like it's just poking and prodding to see what things doing. Because right now he's not at risk. If he's at risk, then maybe he'll attack. It's not at risk now; it's just learning.
Yeah, 100%. I could see that. I could definitely see that. So that's how the episode ends, with the sheep watching, and we got 2 more episodes to go. So let's get the grades. Danny, your grades on this episode and any predictions if you have any.
I think this episode is a B. I think that Kirsh is orchestrating a lot of this stuff. A lot of it. I want to see them fight, like you said earlier, him and Morrow. I think that may be our season finale, so to speak. I think next episode they're gonna show what that plant thing can do, and then on the 9th or 8th, whatever episode it is, it's gonna be like, oh, you know what broke loose.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a bunch of people getting killed, and it's finally gonna reveal to us what Kavalier is, and I don't know.
Because
I'm
I
thinking
think
Kavalier probably gonna get killed. That's what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
me too. Me too. I think Cavalier's gonna die too. But we also know that Morrow is gonna be coming to the island with a bunch of military, right? He's coming to the island too. So we're gonna have the two factions fighting it out, and all these creatures are running around there too as well. So it's not just gonna be a war between the two factions. The aliens are gonna be running around too. And we're gonna see what Wendy has to do with the alien, with the, you know what I mean? Maybe she's gonna use the Xenomorph to help protect her brother and the other synthetics. So it's gonna be
Wendy's gonna
interesting.
have to make a choice.
Yeah, 100%. Brian, your thoughts and grades?
I'm gonna say I give this episode a solid B. Solid B. Like this is B plus. You know, I think I enjoy because I think this was a very important episode because the penultimate episode is next. So and we're gonna get a lot of information. I think they're gonna get a lot of death in this penultimate episode, and I think it's not gonna be the two entities going against each other. I think it's going to be really Kirsh against Boy Kavalier being sacrificed, and Kirsh trying to go off of Wendy while Morrow gets exactly what he wants, and he's able to gather up whatever's left of those entities and brings it back to Yutani. And that's why we get the Wayland Yutani thing, because they get everything they want.
I kind of do, because if Wayland Yutani gets one of these creatures or gets the Xenomorph, then that negates everything that we've seen in the movies, because now they'll be able to have information on these creatures that they didn't have when Ripley and them went to the planet, right?
Well, Ripley and them are already gone by this time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But you could send them a message, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's my problem. That's why I told you at the beginning. My problem.
Yeah.
But is it possible that just Yutani doesn't share the information with Wayland?
It's possible. It's possible that they could do something like that. I just think it's a slippery slope, and they have to be very careful how they tread. You know what I mean? That's just me.
I agree.
I give the episode a B, as you guys too as well. It was good. I wasn't as good as the last one, but I think it's good, and I think this whole series is actually doing a good job. Like, it's bringing people back into the fold of aliens, right? Because we got some really bad alien movies and stuff like that. So I think this is a good start, and I hope they know what they're doing, and I hope they finish it. I do think that it's going to go to a route that I'm not satisfied with, where I think, like you said, Danny, where they're going to make the alien an anti-hero, and I really don't want that to happen, because I like the fact that the aliens have been, stone cold killers and stuff like that. But again, we haven't really known anything about the Xenomorphs, how they work enough. So there's a possibility where it could be they were just trying to survive. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But I think that's kind of an issue for me. But other than that, good show. Good show. Guys, that is it. We will be back next week with another episode, and we got some few shows in the pipeline coming down, which we're going to tell you about in a second. Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Find me on my channel, Road to Wisdom, on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Find me on the Chaos Central on the first 3 Mondays of the month. Also on Chris Night. Wednesday, you can find me on the Hangout. You can find me also on OC sometime. Thursday, you can find me here for the next 2 weeks, where we'll be discussing and breaking down Alien Earth. And then last but not least, Sunday, you can find me 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Storms Live.
That is correct. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Spoiler Kings Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Where we do all type of movie reviews and have a lot of fun. And then you find me here on Thursdays and Fridays talking about Alien Earth. And then Friday we could do our Peacemaker, because Peacemakers, man, was actually had a good episode. So I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
And then Saturday mornings do the Rewind. You guys, if you don't know, you got to come and find out. 9 Central, 10 Eastern. This is going to be fire. We got a lot of fun topics. You guys will conversate with us. Got to come and join us, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Good deal.
Absolutely. And we always do the box office numbers. And I think Conjuring did some good, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk
Conjuring
about
and
that.
Wednesday are going to blow numbers out of the water.
I finished watching Wednesday last night. Fantastic.
It was so good.
Man, Tim Burton did his thing on that, man.
I was like, I'm excited for season 3 now.
I don't get how good this show is. And I wanted to say it when you guys were talking, but and I'm just going to say it. So if you guys don't watch it yet, I love the fact that everything that is happening is because of the fucking parents. You know what I mean? Because they did some shady shit back in the day, which is always coming back to haunt Wendy Wednesday, and she got to fix it. You know, I love that.
And I did not see the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
yeah,
wicked. Yeah, what they did with Thing, that was wicked. That was tight. I was like, oh, that was his. What?
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
I like how they ended, man, because when's he gonna go? I think she wouldn't be able to talk the girl back to becoming human.
Yeah, me too.
But she told it. She said, I will find you. I will hunt you down.
Yeah.
I will find
but they already teased that next season, whatever issue they have is going to be because of her parents again, right? And then she's like, oh, because of my parents' lies and stuff, So I like that. That shit is good. For a spinoff, it's absolutely great. Daniel's topic said, I hope they make spin-offs of this show. Like, for example, what happened after Alien 3 and before Alien 4. I want to know that.
I don't think it's going to get that deep, brother. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is.
No, I agree. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that deep either. I really don't. But I can see what you're saying. And yeah, no. I think the prequel stuff.
I think they could have 2 seasons of this, even 3 seasons of this.
It's going to fill in a lot of those blanks.
And then they don't comment on what actually happened, before then. They never say anything about it. So they say, "Oh, we never did communicate with them." And by the time we did communicate with them, it was already Alien 3. It was out Alien whatever 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am Bigger Ford Entertainment. Thank you guys for popping in. Much appreciated. It's always a pleasure. It's always great. Make sure to check out the Spoiled Kings, who will be going on in about an hour from now.
Yes.
So make sure to check that out. Have some good topics over there. Make sure to check out Mr. Danny Graham's Shorts channel and the videos, Dapper Dan and Road to Wisdom and all of that stuff he'd be putting out there. It's funny because I think we've been putting in a lot more work in this past couple of months than we've done in a long time.
In a long time.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I think we're on the same level where it's like, let's just give it one big, better push and see what happens, and then live with the results after that. You know what I mean?
So to me.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we are doing, guys. We hope you enjoy all of the content that we're putting out there and all the stuff we're doing. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.